The main board. A collection of all the world records performed on the standard board multi-1 settings. I don't really know why, but ever since I started playing Google Snake, the main board has been special to me. I just remember that first time going to speedrun.com and seeing Yarmiplay displayed all over the main board. And back then I thought to myself, damn, this guy must be good at the game. And my first goal was to get a world record on there, to see my name displayed along with his and the other best runners of that moment. It didn't take me long to get one, with Twin 100 being my first Google Snake world record, and for a very long time I just kept defending a couple of mainboard world records I got. It weren't the best world records on the board, in fact they probably weren't even the best world records I personally got. They felt more important, they felt worth going for if someone beat them to keep my place on that main board. And that way I just stayed on there, not getting a lot more world records but also never completely disappearing. But all that changed. All the way back in the early days of Google Snake, even before I joined the Snake community, Yarmiplay was more dominant than ever. It got so bad that the other players in the community formed the Anti-Yarmi Alliance, trying to take down as many of his records and preventing him from holding all of them at the same time. They weren't very successful, but a few months later a lot of new players joined, making the game more competitive than ever. There was some initial success, with Yarmi dropping below 50% of all mainboard world records at the end of February, and in March he lost his classic 25 and 100 world records, both very strong world records that he had held for a long time. However, there was no way around it. Even after becoming way less active, Yarmiplay still held more mainboard world records than anyone else. He was still the biggest presence, the name that every new player would recognize as the best player. And a lot of these new players going for the mainboard would eventually give up going for them, and would focus on tournaments, high score modes, or just getting as many world records as possible. Back in April of this year, Sokoban got released. This was the 11th game mode for the Google Snake game, and as always people were so excited to play it. Except this time they actually weren't. Sokoban turned out to be disliked by a large part of the community. People found the game mode too slow or too difficult or annoying. And this allowed the Epic Carrot to assume total dominance over the game mode, holding all of the Sokoban world records by the beginning of May. A bit after that I came back from a small break from Snake and I decided to check out this new game mode everyone seemed to hate. And I ended up liking it. In fact, I ended up liking it a lot. The first few weeks after coming back, Sokoban was about all I played and I managed to get multiple world records from Carrot, including some mainboard ones. Other players started checking out the mode as well, meaning I had to defend some of them. But overall the game mode stayed very uncompetitive and I was able to keep multiple mainboards, doubling my presence on there. If Sokoban taught me anything, it's that not every mainboard world record was this unbeatable run that I couldn't even touch. I could get more of them even in modes I wasn't very good at if I just grinded a bit more for them. And Sokoban got me interested in putting my world record quest on a hold, to focus only on the main board. So I was ready to go, with the goal to become the person with the most main board world records, dethroning Yarmi in the process. However, I had less than 10 world records at the time and Yarmi had about 30, meaning that even if I only took world records directly from him, I would still have to double the amount of main board world records I had. Luckily for me, the community was about to help me out a bit. Space Doge launched the Anti-Yarmi Alliance 2.0, resulting in a lot of people focusing on all of his world records, including his mainboard ones. Centipede ended up doing the most, with him taking out several of Yarmi's fast world records. Brumman223 and KK the Beast took most of Yarmi's peaceful world records, and Hoover got rid of all of Yarmi's twin world records. Although that probably had more to do with the fact that he likes to play twin, and less to do with the anti-Yarmi alliance. All of these meant that Yarmiplay now had way less world records, and I only needed to take a few to finally be on top of the mainboard. Now it was all in my hands. I started out with playing Infinity mode, going for the 25, 50 and 100 world records. 100 seemed the most beatable, but I ended up beating the 50 world record first, coming very close to getting a sub 1 minute time. After that I decided to put Infinity on the background for a bit, and I took the Yin Yang 50 world record after a bit of grinding. I already held 2 key mode world records, so I decided to grind that for a while, ending up with me beating the key fast 50 world record as well. But whilst all of that was going on, Fibic had taken quite a few of my Sokoban world records, and he also got the first ever fast 100 record. So I shifted my focus to these for a bit, securing the 100 world record for both speeds and improving the 50 world record on normal speed as well. Finally, after all that, I went back to Infinity, getting the 100 world record and deciding to also get the fast 100 world record on top of that. After all this grinding, I finally did it. I got the most mainboard world records. Except I didn't really. See, Snake Stats counts the best high score run in the modes Wall, Portal, Key and Sokoban as the world record if nobody has managed to get all before. However, these don't actually show up on the mainboard, so I decided to not really count them as mainboard world records. Meaning me and Yarmi were technically tied. But you know what? It doesn't really bother me. Me and several other runners drastically changed the mainboard in a period of about 2 months. Yarmi is no longer the clear king of mainboard. All of that is enough for me. At least it is for now. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and goodbye.